of course, the very streamer thing for me to do is to say what's up when my mic is muted. Even on my OBS, it was muted. Like, yeah, that's really great. So, first of all, thank you for stopping by twitch.tv/Marie_shadows. Thank you for, wanting to come in and listen to me chat about professional wrestling. I miss you guys so much. I have been basically, man, I was struggling to stay up with the damn show, man. So before we get into that, I just want to let you guys know that I have been working extremely hard on a Substack newsletter. I will say here that I went back to Substack just because now they have a lot of cool features where like I can embed videos. So when I do future interviews, maybe more interviews with Hinare and other New Japan Pro wrestlers and just other people that I want to do interviews with, I could do it as a video format and you guys can definitely watch it from there. And then I could take these YouTube shows that we do together and put it up on the Substack newsletter as a video. And, since I'm part of their video beta. So yeah, now I have that. I've been working really hard on my newsletter. I have been trying to keep you guys up to date with all the Kota Ibushi and New Japan stuff, all of the Best of the Super Junior stuff. And then now we could get into Double or Nothing because I'm going to be honest and people might end up attacking me for what I'm about to say next. Just because I'm going to say that I was going to watch Double or Nothing for the sake of watching Double or Nothing, right? Because I always consider Double or Nothing to be like the WrestleMania for AEW if it's not like All In or All Out. It's always like those are, hey Mike, what's up? Yeah, shout out to that 24-hour Starbucks. Man, we all needed it. So like I said, I was going to watch it, but then after the whole stupid MJF fucking debacle of like, he was a no-show he was a no-show at the Fan Fest and then he booked the flight, but he didn't get on the flight and then he showed up for work. I guess we're going to start in like really hot and heavy with what I'm about to say, just because. First of all, any wrestling journalist or journalists in general will not be able to know if someone booked a flight or not. And Talent Relations is not going to release that information. That information is confidential between the person who purchased the ticket and the talent agent who helped in the process of that. And I'm like, what is wrong with wrestling Twitter believing wrestling journalists that want to say some stupid ass shit when they could do a quick Google search and that Google search can definitely tell them that no, you cannot find out that information if somebody has decided to board a plane or did not get on that plane. That's not for you to know. That's not for you to tell that on the internet, especially Twitter. And that could have some legal repercussions. But because it's wrestling media, no one really takes it seriously until maybe like something else happens. But wrestling media is not taken seriously. So that's why people will pay $5 for nothing. When, my new favorite thing to try to do to people now is to just be like, objection, hearsay. That's all I want to fucking do to people when they get certain things wrong. It's like, where is your common sense? Your common sense should be able to tell you that you're not allowed to have that information and you're not supposed to disclose that information, even if it's like, very vague. Stop paying for vague shit for $5 and start supporting people who give like the best quality work that, they can give. But yeah, like you cannot know flight information like that. That's confidential. That's like a federal offense and shit. Like you're not supposed to know unless you're with the party. And if you're with the party, that's for like you and the party to know. And that's it. You can't fucking talk about it. MJF does keep a kayfabe. I do agree with that. However, What really took me out of it was, for me, like, not to really watch it, was the fact of how the information got dropped and how Tony Khan was trying to use a late 90s WCW ploy in order to like get you to watch it, in order to have you buy it. It wasn't enough for him to accept the fact that he made $1 million plus, because, you know, he had a packed house. Almost every seat, well, obviously, I can't say almost every seat was taken if he made the $1 million, because I had to do some math, and no, it wasn't Steiner math. You know, it's like, you still want more money. And that's only because when you buy, like, Ring of Honor, like, you know, you're basically don't have that much funds left after that. But yeah, because he used like a late 90s WCW ploy, because Eric Bischoff did the same tactics and everything to get you to watch WCW over WWE, you know, that I was just like, I'm done. I am done. And yesterday, yeah, I know, right? By the way, just so you guys know, ads will start in 4 minutes. So I'm just giving you guys a heads up, because I am a nice streamer. But yeah, that's the thing that I don't understand. Like, where's the outrage of the people that paid $100 to go see MJF, and then all of a sudden his security guards are like, oh no, he's not coming out. Oh, he's not here. Like, where's that outrage? If this was WWE, there would be a huge outrage, and then, like, you know, that'll get coverage, and then WWE would get the bad press. But because it's AEW and we have to follow the fucking kayfabe rules now, it's like, why are you giving a pass to AEW that you wouldn't give to WWE? Like, and then use the excuse of AEW is only 3 years old, and AEW does well and buy pay-per-views and shit like that and all this kind of shit. And I'm like, no. If you're gonna have the same energy you have for WWE and your disdain for WWE, have that same thing when things are not right. Especially if you pay a ticket, right? Because you're the paying customer. You expect the person that's supposed to be there at the booth to be there, just the entertainment things. So I tweeted out saying that, like, yo, this is desperate from AEW and MJF and Tony Khan and shit like that. And you can obviously see it. WWE decided to do the whole Sasha and Naomi situation, and that got coverage by, like, major news outlets that I was just like, I'm not sure what the hell is going on anymore, right? Like, I really can't tell. And then you know, Tony Khan and MJF using the dirt sheets to get the buzz. Like, this is how you don't grow your audience. You don't use the dirt sheets to grow your audience. You use mainstream media to grow your audience. So the way that WWE went about it with the Sasha and Naomi situation, again, they grew their audience because a lot of people are like, oh shit, like, what do you mean they took off Sasha and Naomi's merch? Like, I gotta tune in to see if they say something else on, like, Raw or SmackDown. When it comes to AEW, they cater to the hardcore fans, and that's not how you grow your audience if you do it through the dirt sheets. Because I know on Twitter there's a lot of people that are like, oh, I don't know what, you know, people mean when they say AEW isn't growing their audience. And it's like, I just explained why, you know, they're not growing the audience. If you go towards the hardcore fans plus dirt sheets, you are not growing your audience. If you go towards I guess for WWE's sake, 5% of dirt sheets, but, like, what is it, 90 or a little bit more than that, for, like, mainstream media, then you got, like, new fans and shit, if that makes sense. By the way, I'm just talking off of my head. Whatever comes to my mind, I'm basically, like, saying this. I don't have, like, a script in front of me or anything like that, but these are just, like, really common sense shit that people should know. It's really sad that Tony Khan really doesn't know how to grow his audience, because right after, like, Double or Nothing, like, where do you go from here? You guys didn't do a fucking angle to have, like, New Japan come in and do something for Forbidden Door. And I'm very worried about that. But I think I should back up a little bit, talking about the whole MJF thing. But yeah, it's just that like, um, Tony Khan used that late '90s WCW ploy that Eric Bischoff would use in order to get people to watch WCW over WWE, and I think for me it kind of backfired because I was like, I shouldn't be having to do detective work to watch a show. I really shouldn't. Um, that's what I like initially felt. I felt like I really didn't have. I shouldn't be doing the detective work. It's already enough that I cover professional wrestling as it is. Like I don't really need to do more work than not. You know. And I think at this point when MJF is like, oh, I want more money for my contract. How is MJF going to get more money for his contract if Tony Khan keeps hiring people? MJF has never addressed that. MJF has never said, hey, I am your number one asset. And I don't know why you keep hiring people, but I want more money. I am better than the rest of the people you hired, and all the people you hired are ex WWE employees. Bam. Why hasn't MJF said that shit to Tony Khan? Why do we have to go back and forth between dirt sheets, MJF, Tony Khan, and being like, hey, he wants more money for his contract? Why do we have to do that? We don't have to. If MJF was smart and he really wanted to hold the company hostage for his contract and getting paid the money that he feels that he deserves, then he should definitely bring it to Tony Khan's attention and really bring it out like that and basically say, every single person you hired is an ex WWE star. They are not built from the ground up like I am. I am your number one asset. I am the one that keeps putting people in seats, and they came to see me and everything like that. But yeah, I don't know why he doesn't say that at all. I wish he would say that. I really, really do, but he doesn't want to say it, and no one has thought about it. And this is why we're in this situation where AEW just regurgitates stories from like 2 years ago, a year ago, or just basically like can't think outside the box. And eventually, like, that's going to be one of their downfalls, is where they can't think outside the box. And how, you know, to really properly place things on the card and how to do this, how to do pacing, and definitely get a training center for people, because for some reason, you know, no one likes to train in AEW. If AEW wrestlers are not doing media every single day the same way that WWE superstars are doing media, the same way that like John Cena was on like an every single media outlet back in the day, if AEW superstars, I guess we're going to call them superstars, if AEW wrestlers are not doing the same kind of work that WWE superstars are doing in terms of media and all that kind of stuff, and they're not doing that on a daily, then they have no excuse not to train. There was some botches from what I was hearing, from what I was reading on the Twitter timeline, even video, and just some of the stuff looks so sloppy, and like I'm just like, yo, you're supposed to be a wrestler in tip top shape. You're supposed to be a wrestler in like, you know, where I believe that you can kick that guy's ass. But for some reason, you just don't look like or convince me that you're going to be kicking this guy's ass for some reason. But yeah, I just don't understand how people can still praise something that's not at the peak shape. I don't know why I want to say pinnacle. Like, I don't know. It's not like a pinnacle. I guess we can say pinnacle, but you know, I just don't understand how people can still be positive on like when there's a lot of flaws. If the flaws are all fixed, then it'll be a better experience for everyone all around and stuff like that. But yeah, welcome back, guys, after the ad. Yeah, so, you know, for example, going on the whole, you know, you're supposed to be a wrestler, look like a wrestler, make sure that like you could beat the guy's ass. I feel so bad for Adam Cole. And I know people on Twitter have this thing about like, oh, we shouldn't be talking about body and stuff like that. And I know some people or some Twitter accounts like take it too far, but like if you're in this business to like really look good and make sure that, you don't get hurt, your opponent doesn't get hurt, you definitely do need like the muscle mass to pick up your heavy ass opponents. Because it's not easy to pick up another person that has a different body weight than you, or maybe the same body weight and stuff like that. So sometimes it's like, you should be working out and stuff like that. Again, I just feel bad for Adam Cole because I enjoyed Adam Cole when he was at NXT. I enjoyed his work there, but then when it comes to AEW, I'm just like, what happened to that Adam Cole that was fucking great? What happened to that Adam Cole that was great in Ring of Honor for the that I remember wrestling there? Like what happened to that Adam Cole? Like his super kicks are really bad. They just look like they're just very sloppy with no power behind it, like no sort of like oomph to it, especially when he was facing Joe. I'm just like, I know that doesn't affect Joe the way that it looked like. And I'm here like, I don't understand what happened. I don't understand, the laziness, the laziness of it. I just don't get it. All I want is for him to like really come in and be the Adam Cole that like we know that he can be, meaning that like, he's training, he's making sure that he could get a different moveset, because I don't think super kicks are the way to go half the time. So but yeah, other than that, let's see what else I remember that from just looking. Oh, we have the debut of Athena, and I'm still gonna call him Malcolm Bevins. I'm still gonna do that just because oh, I just remembered I forgot to do something for my stream elements. But yeah, it's okay. I guess that they, came about during the end of what? Jade Cargill versus Anna Jay. I guess it's okay. I mean, I'm not really excited that they're there. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what they're gonna do, but I do know that we're gonna get some really good promos with Malcolm. We're just gonna call him Malcolm. But yeah, we're just gonna get some really good stuff with Malcolm. That's what I'm just gonna say. That oh my god. Okay. I'll just with these two, I'll just wait and see about like what's gonna be happening and like what they're gonna do with them. Most likely we are gonna see them on Dark, just because that happens to everybody. When they come in, they go on Dark, and it's like, you bring them in, you have them get this amazing reaction, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, we can't book you on Dynamite, so you're gonna go on Dark, and it's like, you gotta stop signing people, you gotta stop signing your favorite toys. It's one thing to have your friends working with you in the business. I totally get that, but at the same time, it's like you got to learn how to run a show. You got to learn how to pick and choose who's gonna lead the story, lead the ship, and everything. But like you can't just keep signing everyone that WWE is like, hey, we're gonna let you go. Hey, we're gonna let you go, because then what? It's gonna turn into WWE guys. Our new AEW champion is a WWE guy. If it wasn't for WWE, Punk would not really be known. Really wouldn't. And that's gonna piss off a lot of people, but I don't give a shit. But let's save Punk for last because they let's just say Punk for last. Because you know how I am with him. So other than that, let's see what else I remember that was just like, what the fuck. I heard some really good things about Serena and Thunder Rosa. Like, just give those two ladies the fucking spotlight, man. Like, it's really sad that Thunder Rosa puts all this time and effort into doing the community outreaches, and she's also working on her own promotion of Mission Pro Wrestling, and they haven't, when I say they, I mean AEW, they haven't really like gave her the spotlight that she deserves. And Serena Deeb brings this like realness to the ring, but the only person that can match her is obviously Thunder Rosa. I don't know who else can match her. Maybe Athena could match her too. And if people in the chat, if you want to help me out and throw out some names of like who can match Serena Deeb, just so I can add her to this list. But like, just give those Hikaru Shida also. Just give them the spotlight. It's kind of sad that we know more about the TBS championship title than we do about our own like AEW women's title, and that's really telling. That's really bad too, in my opinion. But I did hear that they really had a good match. And then when I saw the videos and stuff and the pictures that the lovely camera crew took on the side of the ring, why the hell is Aubrey in every single one of those pictures being so over fucking dramatic, man? Like, if I wanted to use one of the pictures for like a thumbnail, if I ever did like a full review of like AEW, like I'm just gonna take the graphic match rather than like, a nice picture, because Aubrey is in it doing some weird shit, and it's like, oh my god, like you don't have to always like be in the center of it. Like, as soon as wrestlers apply a hold, you don't have to necessarily be there unless like that if they're in like a chin lock, you have to make sure that like it's not really a choke. So obviously that's like one exception. But if the wrestler just put an octopus submission move, you can take your time to get over there. The wrestler's not gonna go, I tap the second that the other wrestler puts on that move. Like, relax. Let the wrestlers tell the story of it and stuff, Other than that, like, I really want Thunder Rosa and like Serena to like really shine. Also, I don't think that signing more women to the AEW women's division, Pro Show, you already know me, man. I my brain wants to say I nitpick. I really do nitpick, but like, dude, you know me already. I just want them to improve. That's all I want. I want AEW to improve. There's other people that like hate AEW, but my whole thing is that I want to make sure that I can leave professional wrestling better than it was yesterday when it comes to, fixing flaws. Because if the flaws keep happening, you're going to turn off fans to watch it. And it's like, these flaws have not been taken care of because everyone is in their bubble of like, it has to be positive. It has to be positive. And it's like, it's blatant right in front of you, from the botches to the stories not making sense to the creativity where they have to piggyback off of shit they did a year ago. Like, it's all that I want fixed. It's all that should be fixed to have a stronger product. And just because AEW is 3 years old. AEW was born into money. Tony Khan can dip into his dad's savings and make it all go away and make it all like, wonderful and pristine and actually feel like, an actual wrestling company that can be taken seriously. I know that they just turned 3, but when you're born, when you're AEW and AEW is born into money, you can make it look so pristine. You can make sure that everything is correct. You can hire the correct teams to facilitate, who's going to be on Dynamite, what stories are going to go, who's going to be your flagship people to make sure that the show goes off without a hitch, who's going to be, your flagship people should be the ones that are with the championship title belts and going and pushing the product and making sure that they get fans from all over the world, making sure that AEW gets national coverage, making sure that, E-News is like talking about AEW. Imagine that. Imagine if like they did a media coverage where they sent Jay Cargill to talk to E-News about her baddie section, which can be like equivalent to how the Bellas got Total Divas and the Bellas got the Bella shows. Like you guys are following me, right? Hey, what up, Platinum Yates? John Moxley for life? Okay, if you say so. John Moxley is a hit or miss for me, depending on what happens. But you guys follow my logic, right? Like, yeah, Pro Show. Like, you take certain things from WWE and you use it to your advantage to get the people that like you want. The more people you want, the more money you want, the more fan base you want. Like, everybody on Twitter always talks about the baddie section, right? So why not use that to your advantage? Go over to E-News and be like, hey, I know you have a partnership with like WWE, but like hear us out on like the baddie section and why we have the baddie section. And then they could use that to get WWE fans over there and be like, yeah, Jade is very charismatic, she's definitely a boss bitch and she's definitely independent. So like for the women in our society who are like fuck men sometimes, or the women in our society that are like, always independent and do it by themselves, they will go over to AEW. AEW will get brand new viewership and AEW's key demo rate is gonna go up. See, it's not that difficult. It really isn't. It's just that Tony Khan wants to control everything, but you can't control everything if you're just one person. Especially if you want to control the narrative, especially if you want to control this, control that. Like, if the AEW wrestlers have all this free range to do whatever they wanted, to get bookings, to go to seminars, why are they not investing their time to try to get E-News or try to get any other outlets that WWE has, but use it for their own advantage, use it for their own gain, and bring it into AEW? Like, you go where the trends go sometimes, and you also go where the fans go. If you know that women enjoy Total Divas, then why not try to pitch to E that we have the baddie section and we're better than Total Divas because, whatever the case may be. I'm just saying that, like, this is how easy you can get more fans and build your viewers and stuff like that. No one cares about Forbes. No one truly cares about Forbes. That is thinking too low on a grander scale. Like, if you really do ask somebody about Forbes, yes, Forbes has a really nice, powerful name to it. It has a really powerful traffic to it. It has a really powerful, like, we know what it is. But has that really increased anything for AEW in like any aspect? I don't really think it has. To me, that's just like, all right, cool, we got on Forbes. But why should it stop there? Why can't they go to like all the rest of the outlets that WWE has, to make their viewership increase and stuff like that? But Yeah. Um, that's that's how I think that it should go. That's how like I would break it down to be like, hey, there's more stuff you could do via marketing, via trying to get, the people in, because I just don't think that after this, they're gonna have more fans tuning in. Which brings me, I guess we can jump to this though. That TK put out that for this Wednesday, we have John Moxley versus CM Punk. I don't remember if it's for the title or not. I don't remember if he said it was for the title. It could be for the title. I don't even know. I don't even want to speculate on that. But yeah, that's true. But like I said, I just want AEW to like do better than what they're doing. If they say that they want to increase viewership, if they want to have more buzz, like you go the WWE route, you just make it your own and try to take advantage of it on your own. You don't have to do 100% of WWE. WWE gave us the blueprint of how to get people. So why not just copy off of that, but just make it your own? Think of it like copying someone's homework, but not like fully copying someone's homework. Like that's how people, in the industry and marketing and, streaming, tend to get ahead, that they use someone else's blueprint, but then they just capitalize on the one thing that blueprint doesn't provide. And then if you provide it, you basically jump off and stuff like that. If Darby was on ESPN, I heard nothing about it. I heard nothing about it. If anyone else in chat can confirm that, that'd be great, because I don't even remember. I really don't remember. But yeah, man, I just want, like I said, I just want AEW to be better, to fix all their flaws and stuff like that. Okay, hold on. When you're saying that Sasha was on ESPN, do you mean that they were doing a news segment about the Sasha and Naomi situation, or do you mean that Sasha was having an interview? And that goes for Darby. Now I'm gonna have to look this up for a second. Oh, so okay. The first thing that pops up. Yeah, he was. Okay, yeah, you're totally right. He was on ESPN. By the way, ESPN put it under. Oh, hold on. ESPN put it under WWE, which I find it funny. I find it funny that they did so. Both of them were having an interview. Ah. If Sasha was having an interview, why the fuck was there not like huge ass coverage and people upset about it? All right, so just so you know, I'm looking at the article. This is interesting. So someone like interviewed him a tiny bit, wrote about it and stuff like that. Very interesting. But see, the thing is that like that should have been plastered like all over Twitter, all over social media, to be like, hey, Darby Allin was on ESPN. I don't know why it didn't pop up on my timeline. Like it would have popped up. By the way, I'm always thinking outside the box to try to help like wrestling organizations and like my wrestling buddies. Like I'm always thinking outside the box. So don't think like, I think that AEW is bad or anything. It's just that I want to be able to fix the flaws that AEW has. And if I could think outside the box, I will say it. I'm talking way before now. Oh, uh, then honestly, that doesn't help in this situation if you mean that. So 2 years ago, Sasha Banks was on ESPN. But yeah, but like little stuff like that where like the wrestler is doing media stuff and that gets pushed, and you know, because people tune into they tune into ESPN and like all the like hottest things. So yeah, you know. um what am I doing tomorrow? Sure, I guess. Um let's have you come back for In My Opinion tomorrow. Oh my god. I'm just gonna be the same way I am on that I am here. Yeah, so I just really think that you know, if you're gonna be in the business and if you want I'm the independent contractor like title, you also have to like do the social media stuff too and like reach out to people. Um, you know, reach out to people to make sure that people are talking about the company that you love. Like, you know, the same way that I'm on here and I'm like New Japan everything and like make sure you follow me for all New Japan coverage and stuff like that. Like it's the same way. Like I go out of my way to really tell you why you should be invested in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I go out of my way to tell you guys why AEW needs to fix the things that they do. They have all the talent in the world. It's just, it boggles my mind that Tony Khan allows the flaws to keep happening. And it's like, you know, there was a reason why I stopped. I stopped before doing podcasts is because I kept ranting about Cody Rhodes. And after I took that really nice long break from podcasting, I came back and I just didn't really care about Cody Rhodes when he was still in AEW, but I still cared about the product because that's what I love what I do. I love wrestling. I love everything about it. And I care about each and every single person, like to try to help them get over. I care about the sport way more than the fucking gatekeepers out there. So I'll say that. But yeah, there's just certain things I just want AEW to fix. It might sound like I'm coming after them for like all the small things, but if you don't fix the flaws, how are you ever going to improve? It's the same way in life, you know? Oh, by the way, people do not like me saying Cody Rhodes about AEW at all. To the point where like I had to block one idiot because he was stupid. But yeah, you know. But other than that, like it's the same thing in life, right? Like if you're not willing to grow and expand your mind and try to be as open-minded as possible, I'm not saying to be open-minded for every fucking little thing because you can't really do that. Most of us are like set in our ways, and that's totally okay too. And it's okay to agree to disagree. It's all right to do that also. But if you're not growing or changing your perspective when someone gives you a different alternative, or like think of it this way, you know, are you really growing? Are you really wanting to grow? Are you really like wanting to grow and stuff like that? You know, I just really care about like the things that I want to see get fixed. That's all. Another thing too, part of Double or Nothing. Let me see what else. Oh, I guess we could talk about it since like I have a tweet about it. You know, Ruby Soho doing the sharpshooter. Jeez. First of all, I would just like to say something. So, this is a PSA, a public service announcement. I do not. Thank you, Pro Show. I agree. I appreciate that. First of all, getting back to my PSA. I do not appreciate when, you know, I ask a very valid question, right? Basically, like, you know, I still don't understand it. If you want to learn how to do the sharpshooter, all you have to do is just, you know, contact Brett, contact Natty, Tyson Kidd. They'll teach you how to do a sharpshooter. My one issue with the way that, Ruby did it I'm still a little like, how the fuck did her leg collapse under her while she was doing it? She like turned, and then somehow when she went to go sit, her leg collapsed. And normally I would think that, during the match, Britt probably would have worked on her. Hey Dexter, what's up? I know, right? I'm just talking about it right now because I have like a little PSA. So I would think at first that like Britt was working on her leg. Like if somebody would have told me on my tweet, because I really asked a harmless, valid fucking question about it. If somebody would have told me, oh, Britt was working on her leg, fine, understandable why her leg would collapse. But if nobody was able to tell me why her leg was going to collapse, I was just going to be like, yo, people are like posers in a way. Like they just want to do sharpshooters for the sake of the pop and also for the sake of getting over when they can't get over on themselves. Just saying. So here's my PSA. Don't ever come into my tweets and sort of indirectly dismissing my question or dismissing me wanting to learn more about a particular subject when I'm looking at it through a critical eye, because I think my credentials like speak for themselves of like everything that I've done in the business. And me working for WWE, I don't care how many times I have to say it, that's my greatest accomplishment. If you guys get upset, that's okay. And then me transitioning back onto the indies to help behind the scenes. I have like my vlogs on YouTube. I have my interviews. Like I know what I'm talking about when it comes to wrestling. Please, for the future, do not come into my tweets and indirectly dismiss me when you don't know anything about me. Because I would not do that to somebody unless somebody gave me a reason to dismiss them as well. If you don't know my background, if you don't know my content, if you don't even want to watch my content, that's fine. Just do not ever come into my tweets to indirectly dismiss me when I'm asking a very valid question that nobody could give me an answer to other than mistakes happen. This is live. They probably, practiced it, or they probably like, did it a million times, or Ruby probably knows it a million times. Like, if that's the case, if you truly know how to do the move a million times, especially a sharpshooter where, like, I don't know, I guess messing up will be like 5% of the time. It's not like doing high flying moves where you can mess up like 99% of the time because you don't know how those ropes are. You don't know how the ropes are, like, if they could be slippery, if they're like going to loosen up and stuff like that, and whatnot. So yeah. Pro Show, I just liked your damn tweet that says you have been dismissed. You're lucky I like you. I'm just saying. you're, you're lucky. You're lucky I like you. um, but yeah, like, if they were doing high flying moves, then like I wouldn't really be upset. But if you're gonna be doing a sharpshooter in tribute to Owen Hart and the Hart family, so it's like you got to do it right. If you're not doing it right, don't do it. If you never did it, at least either ask for help or try it out before the show. Dex says it's the fact she trapped her foot underneath Britt. That's harder than just messing it up if you sit in it properly. All right, so Dex over here has some brownie points for me. I hope that Dex likes brownies. I don't know. You want high 5 points because thank you for letting me know that. And my voice may sound sarcastic. I'm not being sarcastic. I really appreciate you mentioning that to me, that she trapped her foot. And I guess if you trap your foot like that, it's even harder to like even try to readjust. But like, instead of telling me on my tweet that like, oh, there's like a bunch of possibilities and stuff like that. Like, I just want the one logical one. Like, that's a very logical thing to do, where like you could trap your foot, but then again, it's like, again, how do you trap your foot? Oh my god, I guess I guess you're right. She didn't have like the base for it, but again, the point still stands. If I'm asking a question for knowledge, because I thought that was the most weirdest, awkward thing to ever see in my life of watching wrestling, and actually being in the ring for like a little bit for like training, that still counts. You know, I'm just like, that's so awkward. Hey, so did the people wearing green symbolize anything? I noticed that Ruby and Joe wore green. The only thing that it symbolizes is money. They got their check. I don't know. I honestly don't know, dude. I don't know. It's the same thing with like Jade all of a sudden like wearing green, even though I think that's probably because she's named Jade. But other than that, it's like, I don't know why they were wearing green. Now, if you ask me why certain people were wearing white, other than that crazy ass Anarchy of Destruction match, when a wrestler wears white, that means they're going to like, Ruby and Joe both wore both wore green, and Adam. Oh yeah, about that. The Owen Hart Cup winners. First of all, yeah, her hair was pink and green too. Like, I don't know anymore, man. Like, I was able to tell you in the beginning what this meant, what that symbolized when it came to AEW. Now I'm just like, yo, ask me stuff about New Japan. Because I could tell you more stuff about like New Japan than anything else. But yeah, like, I don't know, man. But getting back to the whole Owen Hart thing, I do want to buy those belts. Okay, the belts that they were presented with, I was like, yo, these are very pretty. I want one. Like, I hope it's not a lot of money if it ever comes out as like a replica. But I would want imagine Bret Hart getting his own belt also. But I would definitely love the Owen Hart belt. I would love that. I would love that. As for Britt and Adam Cole winning, honestly, I could tell you this though. I didn't really give a shit about the tournament, because I was like, how do you have a tournament give a surprise people? Are they, see, my brain was like, are they even fans of Owen Hart and shit? Yeah, I saw that. I saw that they were modeled after the Stampede belt. I was like, yeah, that has to be it. Other, like, I didn't care about the tournament because it just felt so random. It just felt like, hey, we're gonna put you here. We're gonna put you here. We're gonna have a tournament. Bam, that's it. Like, I need brackets so that way I can like talk with you guys and be like, this is why this person should win. This is why this person like shouldn't win. Like, you guys remember when I did the whole thing about the New Japan Cup and explained to you guys why Tama should have won the New Japan Cup? That's what I could have did with the Owen Hart tournament. But we got this. I really don't care that Britt and Adam Cole won. I really don't. However, now that they won, I really do think that they're going to start with Sammy and Tay versus Britt and Cole and Adam Cole. Like, I really do think that's going to happen. I hear the chatter, I hear the tweets, but I just really don't care. I really don't want it. What else? Yeah, Anarchy. That's always the best bit of any tournament. PWG, yeah. Yeah, right, the bracket talk. Like, I fucking love that. Yeah. Mm. I honestly don't care. I understand why Joe wouldn't win in the situation, but at the same time, it's like, And okay, cool. What else? What else we got, right? Um the Anarchy of Destruction, I'm just whatever that was. That was like a whole fucking mess. Um we had oh yeah, I'm also skipping the Young Bucks versus Matt and Jeff because I've just if you guys heard me on Smack the Raw Pod, I basically said that I am not interested in the match, and I don't really care who wins or who comes out because it's like, how many times are we going to see the Hardys versus the Young Bucks? To which Kyle of the Square Circle podcast was like, no one is like a historian like you, Marie, and I'm like, this is why you guys have me. I'm there to let you know, like, this already fucking happened. Like, nothing new is gonna happen in the match. Like, nothing new is gonna happen. Really, nothing new. Um, but yeah, if you guys wonder why I skipped it, because I just don't care. The other tag match, the triple threat. I heard that Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus retained the titles. Okay, I mean, I just hate the fact that certain teams tend to like have that background when they should be the center of attention and the forefront because they're champions. That's just me. That's just my little pet peeve of like, if you're a champion, we have to like really speak your name. Like, I really want these guys to have that Roman Reigns effect and the Usos effect where you know who the champion is. And people are gonna be like, ah, yeah, I know who they are. If I went outside today in New York City and I decided to boot up my phone and take video or audio and go around asking people, hey, do you know who the AEW World Tag Team Champions are? Most likely, none of them are not going to know. But if I say, hey, do you know who the WWE Tag Team Champions are? Most likely, I'm going to get a response. So I'm just saying that, like, you know, if you want to come out as a star, start acting like a star, start looking like a star, start feeling like a star. And that's all I want. It's like for you to feel like a star. You put so much work and sacrifices into being a wrestler, into being a referee, into being a commentator, into being a backstage interviewer, that if you're not walking around with that chip on your shoulder or being as proud as you are to be entering into this business, that there are no guarantees, then what the fuck is the point? Like, I don't understand. What the fuck is the point of you being in this business if you're just happy to be here? And my brain is like wanting me to tell you guys to adopt that Sasha Banks mentality. Where instead of eating that pizza and that hot dog on a handshake, you start eating steak and you start believing in your own hype. But please be careful when you're believing in your own hype, because sometimes that shit could turn ugly. But other than that, like, believe in yourself, and like, the more you believe in yourself, the more fans you'll get, the more money you'll get, the more merch you'll get. Like, I'm dropping fucking wisdom on you guys, in a way. And I hope wrestlers out there fucking hear this too. Like, you know, there are little things to improve. We could talk about like a lot of people that have improved their like social media presence, and stuff like that. And just, you know, living in the fact that, they have more fans, more opportunities and stuff like that. I guess we could talk about the main event, even though ads start in 2 minutes. Pro Show, you have approved everything. You definitely improved. Like, you know, I enjoy that you are growing and decided to have your name, change your name to the Pro Show, and I think that it works because, you know, you can talk with anybody, especially with your show. In my opinion, I was gonna call it let's debate, but I do think that yeah, we're gonna talk about the main event in a moment. Just to remind everybody, you have a minute onto ad start, so you have that Twitch Prime. Throw me that Twitch Prime, so you can hear my thoughts on the main event. Or you could give some subs, either one. There's no easier way around it. Sorry. But to the pro show, before I get to talking about the main events. What I really enjoy about your in my opinion segment is that you can have that with anybody. It doesn't necessarily have to be like wrestling based. It could be like anybody else in like any other industry and stuff. And have those really raw emotional talks where it shows two different sides of a coin or a story that you're trying to tell or something that you found interesting and you're like, hey, let's get to the bottom of this. Let's ask the real hard questions. And I guess that's what I tend to do sometimes, where like I tend to go into like a deep thought of like whatever it is, but yours like can go anywhere. It doesn't have to be limited. And I really do enjoy those type of shows, especially if I'm interested in a particular topic that like you decide to choose and pick the right speaker, like man, like your shit could blow up like really, really good. So I hope that like, in the years to come, that will bring you like the most joy and definitely bring you the most like fruitful of like your podcasting career. Cause that's really like a groundbreaker to like just really have those hard questions asked, and instead of like feeling, it's all like fucking logical shit. Because sometimes feelings and emotions can get the best of people when you're trying to figure out like the facts, and sometimes the black and white. Sometimes you might need gray in there and stuff like that. Like for example, the freaking I'm gonna go off on a tangent. I'm not even sure if I'm gonna leave this in when I re-upload this to my Substack. But Pro Show, you should have took advantage of the Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp trial and like get people on your show and do like in my opinion for each and every single week that had the trial. You could have fucking did that shit and you would have like soared all the way to getting Twitch affiliates, and then you would have probably got fucking partner at that point, like, and then you would have made money on it. And I'm like, yo, you could have did that. You could have did that for the Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp thing, just so that way you can, have those conversations with people, because I think those are important conversations to have, and also, important conversations in the wrestling business about certain things and stuff like that. So, yeah, dude, like, trust me, man. I was saying to myself that the times that I wasn't streaming, I was like, yo, I could just watch the fucking trial and I could get in a massive influx of viewers and stuff like that, and they can listen to me talk about my opinion the same way that, you guys here can definitely, listen to me talk about wrestling. I was just like, whoa, but I was too fucking entertained by somebody else that I was watching, and I was like, oh, this is fun, this is fun. But what you can do, right, is get people who are pro gun and not pro gun. I don't know what anti-gun and pro gun. There we go. You could do that. You could get two people. You could get one person 1 week where they are pro guns and they'll explain why they want guns in their houses and why they need it, versus someone who's anti-gun. And, you don't even have to like spin the story. You could let them tell their side, and then you could come in with questions that can like, counter it maybe, or like, try to dig in deep for it. But yeah, like I said, the only reason why I'm talking this long for talking to the Pro Show is because I want to make sure that you guys are here listening to me talking about the main event of AEW. But I tend to think about you guys and see how I can like help you guys about certain things. Like, just don't be afraid of asking the hard questions and really like doing things where people wouldn't accept it. Like, you guys remember when I was supposed to interview Jack Gallagher? So like that never happened. They never got back to me. So I'm just like, all right, cool. But I still have people coming into my mentions, whether it's on Twitter or it's on Reddit, and they'll say some stupid shit of like, oh, are you still giving sex pests like a platform? And I'm here like, why does that matter? Can you go back into my log and tell me where like I interviewed him? So yeah, I always look out for you guys. So now, main event of AEW, Double or Nothing. Uh oh, Greg. Yo, for a second I thought Greg was Dexter because both of them have red in their name, and I was like, I was reading that and I didn't catch on. I didn't catch on for like, oh, it's fucking Greg. What up, Greg? So yeah, CM Punk is our champion. I saw the ending sequence of how this happened, where Hangman was gonna do the buckshot lariat, and he sort of stopped. Hesitate. Hesitation is the word. Okay, hesitation is the word. He hesitated, and that's when CM Punk, basically like, I guess, I don't want to say stunned, sort of like spun him around so that he could be, dizzy, and then did the GTS and got the 1, 2, 3. And I was there like, all right, I honestly do not care enough to really like rip him apart. I understand why Tony Khan will put the belt on CM Punk, even though I don't think he really deserves it. Just because you beat a bunch of guys, have this story, the only one that's like telling story in a way. And then you all of a sudden like get a championship opportunity, and again, it's an ex-WWE guy. If we really look at the championship lineage, I don't know why I was going to say something else, but lineage, right? It's Chris Jericho was the first one. So Chris Jericho, ex-WWE. Then we have Kenny, who's at New Japan. Then we had, oh no, it's Moxley. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. Jericho, WWE. Moxley, WWE. Kenny, New Japan. Hangman, self-made. Because no company ever made him, and he's not that big of a star. Yes, Dexter definitely has a point here, which I'm going to read in a second. And then now we have CM Punk, which is WWE. So it's like, why? Dex says here, personally, I think it's a step backwards for AEW. It could have made Paige more legit in the eyes of the casuals. Yes, I totally agree with that. But my only thing is that if they would have left the belt on Paige, right? Does Paige still stay in the background? Because again, it's like, I don't know who the champions are because they're not front and center. They're not in major storylines. They're not, talking enough. There's not enough buzz on our AEW champions for me to remember who's who, where, like who's where and stuff like that. I'm always going to go back to the WWE logic of like, I know who Roman Reigns is. I don't really know, Hangman anymore. I don't know Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus anymore. I don't know. Well, I can't say I don't know Jade. Jade is very like in your face. I'm that bad bitch. Like, I get it. I get what she's doing. I get Thunder Rosa too, but it's just like so messy. What up, Jersey Devil? Apathetic existence of wrestling. Jesus, yeah. But my one big takeaway is that because CM Punk is our champion, I will say this though. I do remember Punk being champion in Ring of Honor. I do remember most of his matches. Because again, before like I cursed the shit out of him after his whole slander shit, I was a huge CM Punk fan, but now it's fuck Punk. So people are saying this is going to be the summer of Punk. Punk is going to drive AEW the same way that he did Ring of Honor, where he gets to do whatever the fuck he wants. He gets to create stories however the fuck he wants. If you don't agree with him, just expect maybe like, some petty ass bullshit. That's why I find it kind of interesting where like Tony Khan will go off the handles and be like, yeah, we're going to do this, this, and this, and this. And then if you don't agree with Tony Khan, he's going to be petty as fuck too. If you guys saw the media scrum, I just thought that, first of all, very fucking unprofessional of him from like start to finish in a way from the clips that I've seen. I have the whole video, but yeah, from the clips that I've seen, just fucking unprofessional. What I don't like, well, actually, we're not going to get there yet. What I found funny was that Tony Khan was answering someone's question, and he gave this answer, and then he switched over to somebody else. Oh, yeah, it was about the Ring of Honor thing, so yeah, I guess we could get into it. So we all know that Tony Khan bought Ring of Honor, and almost every wrestler was like, oh my god, Tony Khan saved Ring of Honor. Well, wrestler and everybody else was like, oh my god, he saved Ring of Honor. Why would you tell wrestling media that because Ring of Honor does not do well in pay-per-views, that they don't sell well when it comes to pay-per-views? Why would you tell them that that's why they don't have a big card? That's why they're not like as big as like a Double or Nothing where that shit went to 1 a.m. Why would you tell the wrestling media that, because Ring of Honor doesn't do well in pay-per-view sales, that you're going to get a less than perfect match card? Like, I was like, didn't you once say that Ring of Honor was like the love, like the company that you love the most? But yet then you're going to be like, oh, because it doesn't make much money, this is why you guys are going to get really horrible match cards. That's really bad to say. So he says that, and then he jumps over to another wrestling media person who asks a question and finishes his answer for that. Excuse me. And the lady he responded to shook her head, and he was all like, oh, I'm sorry, like, are you upset at me? And I'm here like, oh my god, this guy. What I want to make light about it is that, do you guys understand that he likes to people please? And the more that you people please, the more you stay inside this box. Because you can't please everybody. I totally get that. You can't please everybody. I can't please everybody. Everyone in my chat can't please everybody. But you need to like phrase certain things and not say what you're actually like thinking sometimes. And then that's very telling to be like, hey, Ring of Honor doesn't, sell much. So why not like, not give you guys the best card in the world? And, because he was so frantic about, did I upset you? First of all, I think it was a she. I don't remember like who was asking it. First of all, if I was there and he saw me shaking my head, and then he comes back to me and says, "Are you angry with me?" You guys know I would just go off and be like, "How do you tell us that about Ring of Honor when Ring of Honor is supposed to be the company that you love the most, and that's why you saved it?" Like, I don't get that. Like, that's really unprofessional. So let me see. Dexter says, oh no, okay. So yeah. Oh yeah, so it is Dexter that I'm up to. Okay, my chat needs to stop going up. Okay, I read that. Oh my god. This chat bar is so annoying. I was skeptical on TK taking over Ring of Honor, but his comments in that scrum are so shocking as an owner just tearing down his own company. Yes. Tony and AEW basically did everything except pissing them out the Ring of Honor. Yep. AEW at Supercard of Honor was, yep. Definitely, man. Like, yeah. That was his attempt to kill what Ring of Honor had built and do what he can from his own memories of it. Yes. You know, the writing is on the wall. And it's really sad when AEW fans want to like dismiss other ones, like dismiss people who have these ideas and who have like the knowledge to be like, you know, why is this happening? Why is this doing this and whatnot? You know, it's just really, 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 really annoying. But yeah, I could tell you this though, that we're definitely gonna get a lot of Punk. All the stories are gonna go Punk's way, which are not gonna be original. So don't expect anything original. He's probably gonna rehash certain shit that he did in the past, like how we saw. Especially him coming out to like, you know, his feud with MJF was rushed, and then the rehashing or the calling back to when he was in Ring of Honor and he did the whole bloody interview thing like he did when he had Daphne by his side and he was going after Raven. It should have been Daphne. He was going after Raven back in Ring of Honor, which I honestly, that feud with he had with Raven, I fucking loved it. I really did. I enjoyed that really, really, really well because Raven is one of my favorite wrestlers. So like, you know, I enjoyed that. And then to do it again with MJF, it's like, it doesn't seem right. And then also with Punk coming out to his old theme song in Ring of Honor with the shorts and how he looked back then, I'm just like, you know, inside of me was like, you know, don't give in to it. But it brought back memories. It did. But again, if you want to bring in a new crowd that does not follow you and you want a new chapter in your wrestling career, you make new stories. You don't go back and do callbacks when your callbacks start super late. That's the best way for me to put it, because if you're building a feud of all callbacks, right? You start at the very beginning, you make it known to the fans that this is going to be like a callback feud, so you understand why you should be more emotionally invested, and you should understand why this is like a love letter to the fans that followed you from the very beginning, rather than doing it towards the late end of the feud where it doesn't make sense and people have to go do research, and nobody wants to do research. We already seen that nobody wants to do research. So if you want to do a feud where you have callbacks in your feud, make sure that that is apparent and that is known in the beginning of your feud rather than the end of your feud, because it's the same thing with writing. If you're writing a novel and you have an important plot point, you got to make sure that at the beginning of your book, where it is the exposition of your book or short story or whatever you're writing, it's there in plain writing, and then you go off from there and you make sure that that plot point that's important is sprinkled throughout the book, sprinkled throughout the chapters, and whatever the hell else you want to do with that. But yeah, I am now officially going to be watching AEW from afar. I am not really going to support the company. If I have to talk about something, I will talk about something. But other than that, like, congratulations to CM Punk for becoming our new AEW World Champion. But other than that, like, I have no fucking interest. I'm all about having the young guys get built up, having the young guys push the ship and basically like carry that belt. Punk does not need to, but I guess if you want to say that Punk has value in his name to sell tickets, sure. But I will say this. Do not get your hopes up for a Kenta versus CM Punk at Forbidden Door, because CM Punk was already like, no, I don't want to face Kenta. They asked him the big question. He said no. Now he could be working us. He could be fooling us. I don't know. But for someone that loves to take someone's full fucking moveset without permission, and basically like not in a way where it kind of honors Kenta. And by the way, Kenta is still wrestling, so it's like if he was retired, I wouldn't be making a big deal out of it. But for someone that dodges Kenta, dodges Ospreay, and that's about it. Because Kenta and Ospreay were the only two people to call out CM Punk to be like, hey, I want to fight you. Other than like Jason David Frank, the Green Power Ranger, but that shit never happened because Punk knows he can't fucking stand in the ring or octagon with any of these guys. They will fucking kill him. They will annihilate him. Do not expect an Okada versus CM Punk because do you guys honestly think that will make fucking money? Like, I don't want to see Okada face Punk. I really don't. I'm trying to really think, like, would it matter, you know? And I also would not want to see Jay White versus Punk. And if that happens, Jay White better do like 5 fucking Blade Runners on CM Punk in his home fucking town and get the fucking victory. Because as much as this is going to be in the United Center in Chicago, CM Punk has been quiet about it ever since the announcement dropped. The only person that, you know, shared the common interest is basically Jay White to tell everybody, yeah, we have this announcement going on. And the reason why the Forbidden Door sold out is because of Jay White. Jay White better add that to his accolades of, like, you know, he sold out the United Center single-handedly. The same way that we say that he sold out Madison Square Garden single-handedly. You know, he's wrestling's number one asset. Punk ain't fucking number one asset of anything. He tends to dodge everybody. And he, like I said, he hasn't said a word about it, which I'm kind of like, yo, this is in your hometown. Are you proud of this? You know. Oh, and also the other thing too is that I'm waiting for Punk to abandon AEW. I'm waiting for that to happen. Because if you're able to abandon a place once when you could have saved everybody the trouble and time and stuff like that by doing your own independent, what's the word I'm looking for? Your own independent, like, basically you get your ass up and like you go take yourself to the hospital and you make sure that from your doctor, you know, you're okay and everything. Like, he could have saved everybody the trouble by doing it himself rather than waiting for his wife to tell him, yeah, honey, you got to get a second opinion, or, you know, allowing the doctor to give him a bunch of Z-Packs. So yeah, I'll say it again. I am waiting until CM Punk abandons AEW. Jersey Devil says Phil Brooks ain't doing no job in Chicago, especially. Dude, I don't care. I would definitely be like, bro, you're doing a fucking job. You have not hyped up your own fucking hometown for the Forbidden Door. Like, no, I don't give a shit. You, like, he said during the media scrum that it's all a teamwork, right? Everyone pitches in. Bro, you have not said shit about the Forbidden Door. How is it teamwork? No. Dexter says, if the main event isn't the Bullet Club versus Undisputed Elite, I would be very surprised. Really? You want Bullet Club versus Undisputed Elite? I don't want it. You know what I would want? which Dex might be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I want hold on. Okay, so I want the Undisputed Elite versus House of Torture. That's what I want. I want Evil to come over to the States. I want the Undisputed Elite versus House of Torture. I don't care for Bullet Club versus Undisputed Elite. Now I'm gonna but all the marketing is Adam Cole and Jay White. See? Jay White single-handedly sold out the Forbidden Door at the United Center in Chicago. Yep. That's what I'm going to go with. Anyway. But yeah, I don't care if CM Punk just became the new AEW champion. If you're going to say that everything is a teamwork, but yet then you don't hype up your own love of Chicago, your own love of the idea that we get to fight New Japan Pro wrestlers and, basically love the fact that it's sold out in a matter of minutes and, the endless possibilities, then no, man, you're fucking losing. And people might say that that's me just saying that because I no longer like Punk. Like, no, you got to put in the work if you're going to say that everything's a teamwork. That's all it is. I'm looking at it from a business thing. Like, at this point when I'm saying this, it's not because I hate him. It's not because I say fuck Punk. It's a business thing. Like, you should be putting in the work too, But yeah, that's like what you guys may consider an angry review of what do you call it? AEW Double or Nothing and a little bit of the media scrum. I will have the media scrum up on my Substack either tomorrow or Wednesday. I don't want to bombard everybody because I have my Hinari interview up, which, you guys can ask me questions after I come back from a quick break because I need more water. I gotta get freshened up, and we could talk about Best of the Super Juniors, my Hinari interview, and stuff like that. So make sure to just stay around, and we'll be back in a second. I'm gonna put the starting soon screen on just so that way you guys can watch the little highlight video. So yeah, I'll be back.